Hey guys, it's Marissa from Grow in the Flow, and I'm coming on here Sunday night to do a little week ahead reading, check in with the energies because this coming week is the last week of December. It is the last week of 2021. So we are gearing up for the new year and welcoming in 2022. For the most part, I think we're doing that with great anticipation. So as we're moving through everything here that has transpired throughout this holiday season, throughout this year, this is often a time of reflection, of looking back, but also looking forward. And so I wanted to kind of tune into the energies for this week, but also just this year as we wind down this year. So I have a number of decks here and sprays. I'm still working with the Hope Spray, which I brought out last week. And of course, this olive ray of hope, bringing in that energy of the hope and promise of tomorrow, of better days ahead for healing. And with that, of course, comes the emerald ray. I've been working with this for a while. I personally have been feeling the need for renewal and recovery ongoing. So this is an energy, the emerald ray, that I've been bringing in and connecting in with. It's very grounding. I always think of it as like a soothing balm. It reminds me of nature, like forest energy. And I'm really feeling that. I actually am really feeling the evergreen. I was kind of tuning into the symbolism of the evergreen and what that spiritual symbolism is, in that, of course, as it's named, evergreen, the idea that the tree stays green throughout even the harshest of conditions, throughout the cold winter, when most of the plant life and tree life goes dormant. The evergreen persists. And so I think there's a lot of symbolism there, not only as a tree talking about getting rooted and grounded, but continuing to flourish, to thrive, even amongst the harshest and most difficult, most challenging of conditions. So I think there's a lot of symbolism there for us here with the evergreen as well. Now, the other two sprays I'm bringing in here, and again, these are the beautiful sprays from Amanda Ellis, Angelic Celestial Colors. I'm bringing in two archangel energies. Archangel Raphael for healing, for harmony, balance, and I'm really thinking of relationships of all types. And that's why we're also bringing in Archangel 𝓷𝓮𝓬𝓰 for forgiveness and transmutation. Because of course, when we're looking at, moving through, winding down this year, looking ahead to a new year, but certainly, the energies that have been present throughout this year, but certainly around this time of year, there may be a need for calling in the vibrations of forgiveness and transmutation. So transmuting that energy into something that we can learn and grow from through our relationships, through the challenges, through the struggles. Now, I'm giving that an extra boost here with this beautiful cosmic coaster from Angelic Mamas. This is a beautiful coaster that really brings in the vibration and energies of Archangel 𝓷𝓮𝓰 with these mantras on it that talk about I am free, I forgive you, you forgive me, we forgive each other. And with that comes this beautiful mantra, which is from Ho'oponopono. I'm saying that wrong. I'm sorry. Ho'oponopono. I've been trying to say it correctly. I just got a beautiful book that I can't wait to dig into for Christmas, that really reflects on the lessons of this premise, which is, I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, thank you. So it's a premise to kind of set upon for inviting in the energy of forgiveness and transmutation. And so this goes on to talk about calling in the violet flame of transformation, and then love and forgiveness flow through me and to me. So really giving that an extra boost for those of us who are in need of calling in forgiveness and transmutation. And again, forgiveness of self, forgiveness of others. I'm doing a little bit of a fake it till I make it myself, because this time of year, I always feel a little bit down as the holidays wind down. There's just always a little bit of blues that set in for me. I just think all the anticipation and things, and then it just is so fleeting. And also just this year, especially some of the unique challenges and separation and things that have come up are really, really difficult. We can't really there's really nothing to gloss over there. We have to be present with any energies, any emotions that come up from those challenges in our relationships, family, friends, in our communities. I mean, it's very real. And so that comes forward as well as we sort of look into this last week of the year, really thinking about the bags that we're packing, because we're going on a trip, we're moving into 2022. We have this journey ahead of us. What are we taking with us on the trip, and what are we leaving behind? So as we think about that, I am going to bring in first the gorgeous Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle deck, and I'm going to pull one card to sort of set the tone here for our week ahead reading. Then we're going to pull in the Winter Weight deck for our, that's the one. So if you saw, I've been trying to stay on top of doing these videos for the last couple weeks. It's challenging, especially this time of year. This card is the card that came out, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. I tried to put this card back in the deck. It came out anyway, and it brought forward just what I was just talking about, the energies of gathering, coming together, and, sharing a table with others, and how we have been sort of tasked this year with really reflecting on, who is meeting us at the table, whether or not there is a seat for us at a table, whether we want to be seated at a table any longer. What are we consuming? What are we feasting on? The idea that, we don't have to eat everything that's put in front of us. We don't have to ingest everything. So there was really this symbolism that came forward in this card. Like I said, it was probably about 2 weeks ago, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, that this card came up for a week ahead reading. So, wow, the fact that wanted to leap out again, I'm going to ask for another card to go with that, just to kind of really tune us in, because there's a lot of different ways we can take that feasting energy, how we nourish ourselves, being thankful. Oop, there's another one that wanted to jump out. Oh, we got 2. Oh, wow. These are 2 consecutive cards. I'm still working my way through breaking this deck in. Reindeer Medicine. Journey into the depths of your soul, an awakening of sighs revealed or sights revealed. It is time for no time at all, for all is presently here. Reindeer Medicine. Wow. Journey into the depths of your soul, and remembering, oh, how thy glimpse glimmer in the darkest of sights, never forgotten, never still, yet pacing in the mind in the twilight of the night. Remembering. Wow. Well, this is certainly, like I was saying, a time of year for reminiscing, for being nostalgic, for thinking back over holidays past, over seasons past and gatherings past. And that's what this remembering card is bringing up for me. And how sometimes that can seem sort of like shrouded, and yet, sometimes you only have to sit in that energy for just a few minutes, and really vivid memories will be triggered about a particular time period. Sometimes, our everyday gets in the way, or takes precedence, of course, in the present time. But then when we're sitting some time in that energy of remembering, it comes forward in a way that, isn't quite as far off and distant, and yet it feels so distant. There's sort of like as if we are looking through a veil. Now, the Reindeer Medicine, wow, look at that. It's like holding the full moon there. Sights revealed. It is time for no time at all, for all is presently here. So interesting, we have everything being present here all at once, and also this remembering of yesteryear, of times past, and feeling that connection between all the phases, all of the different seasons that we move through, and yet they're all here, all presently here at once. And it's really, it's just such a thin veil between then and now, here and there. Yeah, there's definitely this energy of nostalgia, of, things coming up that are really present for us in the here and now, that we're really thinking about. I personally find this time of year to be very reminiscent. So let's see where that takes us. We're going to go ahead and pull in the beautiful Winter Weight deck. I've really enjoyed using this, and as Yule continues here and we're officially in winter now and we move through the seasons, I'll still be bringing this deck in. There's definitely some very seasonal energies in here for Christmas time and this season that we are moving through now. So when I do the reading here for the week ahead, I kind of have like a different card position for Monday through Friday, 5 cards. But we're looking at potential energies for this week ahead. And each day has an intention, but of course time is not linear. It could be stuff that's coming in throughout the week, not specifically on the day indicated. So Monday is always just sort of taking a look at the week ahead. We got the Death card, yeah. Definitely closing out some cycles for sure. As I was saying, of course, this being the last week of the year. So let's get a card for sort of the week ahead energy for Monday. And I'm going to get one for Tuesday, which is any potential challenges or blocks that we could see this week coming up. Then we have Wednesday, which says a midweek blessing. So a blessing this week. And then we have Thursday, how are we growing? So how are we growing? And then we have Friday, sort of wrapping up the week. And of course, that is New Year's Eve. Okay. Slide this back. Let's get these cards flipped over. Oh, yep, we can't escape the Death card, that's for sure. Okay, let's see what we have here. So yeah, there's definitely some energy. This is the 9 of Swords. So we're talking about that, the thoughts that keep us up at night, the hamster wheel energy, the analysis paralysis, the perseveration. So I think that, you know, for many of us, again, this remembering energy, and just all of this stuff being reindeer medicine is bringing everything forward at once. Like it's all presently here. There's just no getting away from, you know, some of these very difficult separations and oppositions that are going on in many of our lives and how that's showing up for each of us differently. But it's something that, you know, perhaps is very triggering. Perhaps, again, this whole season of tradition and ways that we've always done things being so shook up and so uprooted this year may have you constantly in this state of, you know, just trying to figure it all out. But it's really challenging because we knew all along for December, it was a month to be very flexible and fluid in your plans, that plans could change, things could get canceled, things could be different or change from what you expected. So I think this week definitely continues that energy through, but we do have a 9 here. So again, we're closing out a cycle. We're winding down, gearing up for things to come into completion. 2021 is completing and we are embarking on the new year, which of course, what is our potential challenges this week? We have the Death card, and that's because, you know, we are in this period of transformation. We are in transition. We are moving from one year to the next, from one energy to the next. And I've been really tuning into, and this is kind of giving me that ping here, you know, 2021 was the year of the Hierophant. You know, every year is associated with a tarot card, and 2021 numerologically added up to a number 5. And so the 5 card in the major arcana is the Hierophant. And so the overarching energies of this year has been all about spiritual learning, expansion, the teacher energy, the spiritual guru energy. There's been very sweeping, overarching lessons and growth available to us both individually and on in the macrocosm. And so that energy has been very present. And as that year is closing out and moving through, we're gearing up for 2022, which is the 6, which is the year of the lovers. So I've been thinking a lot about what that energy is, the energy of balance, of duality, of choice coming in. There's Garden of Eden energy there. So I'm really starting to feel that come in. So we're on this precipice, on this border between one and the other, moving into that. So I'm definitely feeling that that's challenging sometimes. Change can be hard, especially if we're resisting change or, you know, if we're unfamiliar with it or what to expect. You know, there's different energies coming up. So this week, potential challenges could be, you know, staying, again, flexible and in flow with change, with transition, surrendering to that process. So let's take a look at a midweek blessing here. We have the 7 of Cups. So the blessing is that there's a lot of choices. There's a lot of options. Now, whether this is coming up for you in the way of plans for this week, perhaps how you'll spend your time. A lot of people tend to take a break this week after Christmas, gearing up to the new year. So there may be a lot of options here as far as things that you'd like to do. How will you spend your time? Now, sometimes, there's a hesitancy to really make a decision here because we don't really know what's on the other side of it. So there is sort of an encouragement of tuning into your inner knowing and trusting your intuition and making a choice and following through with it. So it's a blessing, perhaps, that you are becoming more confident in connecting with your own intuition, your own inner knowing, and with trusting that all will be well, embracing that whatever experience that you encounter is going to be one that will bring forward for you just the lessons and blessings that are needed. So now when we look at how am I growing, we have the beautiful Empress. So we have a couple of major arcana cards here this week. This is one of them. The Empress, of course, is spring energy because we have this Earth Mother, fertility, abundance, pregnant with possibilities. So how are we growing, I think, again, is seeing the potential in everything, the potential in the things that when things go the way that we want them to go, but also the potential of things that maybe, choices we make or turns that we take that end up perhaps with a different result than what we were intending. And yet we are recognizing that there is abundance in all of it. All of those things bring forward opportunity for us. I think that, again, with the canceled plans, with the disappointments, with all of that, it can bring in an opportunity for us to have more gratitude, to really be aware of the blessings that are all around us all the time and finding ways to create more abundance in times of lack, when we lack anything, when we lack support, when we lack not receiving compassion or understanding, or if it's time, if it's energy, if it's presence, whatever it may be that we are in lack of, finding ways to bring abundance to that. So I think that's one of the ways that we are growing. Now, when we look at Friday's energy to wrap the week up, and it is New Year's Eve, we have the King of Pentacles. So again, there's great energy here for abundance, for fertility, for growth, and, new things coming in. And so this is definitely a great card to have, being level, set, grounded, poised for abundance. So I think if we're stepping out of 2021 into 2022, I'm really feeling that balance of light, of having the duality again that we're stepping into the year of the lovers, but there's lots of abundance here as well. So I think that I want to pull a couple of additional cards here. I'm thinking about adding some questions I want to put in here because it is our last week. What is it that we need to know, or something that we need to see about this last week and how we are spending it and the energy that we're putting forward as we close out this year? What is something that we need to know or see? Let's see what comes up here. Okay. And any action steps or things that we can employ this week as we are closing out this year. Action steps, best advice. Ooh, nice. And outcome for this week. Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay. So what do we need to know? What do we need to see? 7 of Swords. Okay. So the funny thing is with this card, last Christmas time, I had coined this card my "Don't let anyone steal your Christmas joy" card. And I was talking to myself. I was talking to my ego. I was talking to 3D aspects of expectation, of things that we put on ourselves that ends up stealing away our energy, stealing away our joy. So, this feels like what we need to be aware of is, yes, each of these swords here, okay, all of these swords being thoughts, situations, people, circumstances, headlines, things that are circling in our head constantly, running like a ticker tape in our minds, okay? The advice here, what we need to be aware of, is not to allow all of those things to steal our joy, to steal away our experience of really having an opportunity to reflect on what has happened here. You know, all of the things that you've gone through this year on every level, in all different areas of your life, really having a moment to be present with each of them and reflect on, Hierophant, what was the lesson, the spiritual lesson? What was coming forward for you? That these things happened for you, not to you. And so, you know, this aspect of not allowing those lower vibrational energies to sneak off or shirk off with your opportunity to really be present with that. You're reflecting, and all of the, you know, new year end things that we do as we gear up to the new year. But also, best advice, beautiful card of celebration, of camaraderie, for community and tribe. So again, continuing to gravitate toward and gather with like-minded people, with tribe, with people who uplift you, with people who fill your cup. So, you know, you can see how, again, this is the energy of lack. This is the energy of taking away, of depletion. This is the energy of fulfillment and abundance. So we sort of, again, have this balancing of the two opposing in order to bring in the highest and best energy for us to step into the new year. And what I love here is that when I ask for the potential outcome, we get, of course, the King of Pentacles counterpart, the Queen of Pentacles. So talk about stepping into lover's energy, stepping into duality, stepping into balance, stepping into choice, stepping into that energy of 2022. We are bringing in the divine feminine and masculine energies here together in the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles as our outcome for this week as we move into the new. So I really love that. I'm just taking a minute here to see what we have on this card. We have two turkeys, and we have the beautiful Queen of Pentacles again. I think there is like a protective energy here of our resources. So again, best advice, potential outcome, holding on to these riches, these nuggets. Okay, now we've packed our bags and we're ready to move into this journey into 2022. We've got everything we're taking with us. We've cut away all the excess, all this air element energy of the swords. We're getting truth and clarity, and we're clearing away the things that aren't serving us. We're cutting away. We're picked clean to the bone here with the Death card energy, right? We're making our choices. We're taking a look at all of the potential options and directions and things that we can put our energy into, how we want to spend our time. And we're getting a lot of beautiful divine feminine energy here, which is just gorgeous as we move into the next year, as we bring in the age of Aquarius, as we're bringing in the divine feminine. This is beautiful energy to be stacking up here as we close out this last week of December with this energy here, the duality of these two beautiful cards. So I'm loving that energy together. That is really beautiful. Now, again, how does this show up for each of us in our little microcosms? You know, in many and varied ways. Whether you are taking time off this week, whether you're back to work tomorrow, you know, however you're spending this last week of the year, being present with whatever is coming up for you in your mind. So we've got all that swords energy of things, thoughts that are crossing your mind, people and circumstances that are just coming to the surface for you, you know, really being present with all of that, and acknowledging those things and kind of weighing them out here, because we're really thinking about what's coming with us and what's staying behind. We're shedding our skins, we're shedding layers here. And I am not an expert at all about evergreens, but I would gather that part of their process for how they thrive throughout the winter, through those harsh conditions, having to do with that process of shedding and releasing and renewing and, you know, being able to conserve energy and be and persevere through those conditions. So I do think that, you know, connecting in with that evergreen energy, bringing in again this deep green emerald color. I'm just going to bring that energy in here again. And I'm going to also pull a self-care wisdom card. I still had this one out, which was a beautiful punctuation mark on a reading I did last week. Let's shuffle these up to get a card for self-care wisdom for us this last week of December, last week of 2021. Self-care wisdom. Okay, so we have the card body. Lots of flower energy there. Your body deserves your love. So perhaps you are taking some time to recuperate again, renewing and restoring ourselves after a lot of celebration, a lot of perhaps, consuming of a lot of food and enjoying ourselves thoroughly, but it's time to turn inward and really have some time with restoring and renewing ourselves on a physical level as well with our body and our well-being. So there we go. Your body deserves your love. Very nice. Okay, well, I hope that these messages resonated with you. I am wishing you all of the best as you continue to move through this last week, hopefully enjoying this time with loved ones, with tribe, with people who fill your cup, who light you up, and finding ways to find those lessons and blessings in everything. But I am sending you so much love and many blessings. Thank you so much for joining me, and a very happy and healthy new year to you. Take good care.